An unprecedented nightmare grows by the hour.
If you aren't prepared, you know, it is hard. It's hard on a lot of people.
Throw somebody a smile.
Countless people are missing. Even more are without power or a steady supply of water.
And we do expect another 3 to 4 or 5 days of most people being without power.
People out west are blocked off from the rest of the United States. In Black Mountain, dozens have signed a sheet to say they're safe, hoping to get it to loved ones.
Parts of our state are unrecognizable tonight. A blitz of relief efforts are underway and will continue for weeks.
An overwhelming disaster matched with a relentless push to help. Tonight on WFMY News 2.
The phone lines have been busy today. We are partnering with the Red Cross to get help to people facing a disaster with no end in sight. You have already helped us raise nearly $20,000, and we are hoping for even more.
Thank you so much for your generosity. You are so very kind and compassionate. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the phone number to call. You'll also see a QR code. If you scan that with your phone, it will take you to a link where you can also donate.
But first, we have got some new information tonight about the aftermath of the storm. The state has now confirmed at least 34 North Carolinians have died.
Unfortunately, the governor's office says that number is expected to rise. 42 people have critical injuries, including 4 babies. Many people are unaccounted for as well. Help has surged to our state from all over. About 20 states have sent in help, along with more than a dozen teams from the federal government, as well as teams from Canada. We've also just learned that President Joe Biden will be in Asheville on Wednesday.
Help from the Triad deployed before the storm even hit. Aid from our area has grown in the days since. A Winston-Salem search and rescue team is out west. Some of their members found an American flag in the destruction. They folded it so it could be retired with dignity.
We have team coverage tonight scattered across the high country as well as the North Carolina mountains, from the destruction to ongoing search efforts and the steady flow of support coming in from around the country. We have got you covered.
And we begin our coverage with WFMY News 2's Tanya Rivera, who is in Asheville tonight, where search and rescue teams have been searching for countless people who are missing. Tanya, they have a tall task ahead of them.
So this is the airport. This is the main staging area for all supplies in western North Carolina. And why is that? Because 300 plus roads are just not passable. So the way you get supplies is by air. We've got the FEMA trailers behind us right here, and they're holding plenty of supplies for this part of western North Carolina. And they're playing a part in this. And I say a part because local leaders right here in Buncombe County are asking, hey, where are the supplies? You see, Governor Cooper, he toured this whole area by air earlier today, and he saw what he says was extensive and devastating damage. Those are the words that he used. And he talked about the difficulty of reaching this part of North Carolina because of all of the infrastructure issues and the need for supplies. But I got to tell you today, the Buncombe County manager in their daily briefing said in no uncertain terms, she wanted to ask him, hey, we need a better response from state leaders.
The message that we would say is that we've been asking for water and we just getting water and it's still in low quantities. There's a large need in our community, and we would like to see a different response from our state partners, a better response from our state partners.
And when it comes to infrastructure, NCDOT has about 1,600 employees on the ground here. Plus, they've contracted out with about 100 or so contractors. And they're bringing people from other states as well to build temporary bridges so that they can actually connect those people who are in those cut-off areas. With that in mind, I want to turn it over now to Amber Lake. She's in Lake Lure, where people are being urged to simply leave if they can.
So Tanya, obviously this damage is widespread. We wanted to come out to Rutherford County today to see some of that damage. We ended up in Rutherford town just because this is the only place that seems to have power. The library has Wi-Fi, Town Hall has Wi-Fi for people that need it. I just spoke with Domino's Pizza behind me. They said that power was finally restored late last night. So they have all of their workers in there today. They had to throw away over $5,000 worth of food whenever this situation happened. But they're in there today making food for people who are able to come and pick it up. Some of those places that they're not able to deliver pizzas to and actually make a trip out to include Lake Lure. A lot of those people are stuck because of the severe damage that they experienced. So law enforcement told us actually today that if you don't live there, you're not allowed in. You have to show proof of residence to even come into the town at all. That's because the damage is so bad. Officials have asked that no one come to town unless you live there, and if you're able to leave, you need to do so. Because of this, one neighbor decided to bring supplies back to her community. Her family was able to evacuate after the Lake Lure Dam was compromised, but quickly returned to help.
This is our community. This is where we're gonna raise our kids and hopefully be here for a very long time. And we want it to rise up. You know, we want it to come back and still be here and be intact. And no better place to pour into it than right here where we live, our little home and our friends.
Other places around the county have seen a lot of damage since Hurricane Helene rolled through. Down trees, covering roadways. We also drove up a bridge that was completely wiped out. The town says cell and internet access is improving, but it's still going to be a long time before it is fully restored. There's also a shelter set up here in Rutherford County at the Rutherfordton Spindale Central High School. That's for anyone who is in need. Live in Rutherford County today, Amber Lake, WFMY News 2.
So what we're hearing when it comes to infrastructure and when it comes to roads is something very different. I-40 East from Asheville, they say, is now open so that people can, in fact, be able to get out and get to the eastern part of our state. This is something that they said when the governor was touching down. He said I-40 West coming into Asheville from like Greensboro, Winston-Salem is expected to possibly open tomorrow, but for sure would open by mid to late week. Again, just like Amber said, they aren't sightseers here, but that certainly could with that whole supply situation. Of course, the southwest part of North Carolina is dealing with all this devastation. So is the northwest part as well. That's where we find Taylor Leverett, who is in Blowing Rock.
Yes, we are here in Blowing Rock. We had to take cover here because the rain started to come down. We're here off Valley Boulevard Road, one of the main roads to get into Blowing Rock. And, you know, we were up in the mountain all day today, kind of surveying some of the damage. And, you know, like you guys were saying, a lot of down trees, a lot of down power lines, but also a lot of resilient neighbors. Take a look at the video on your screen there. That is actually a road that we stumbled upon, Valley View Road. It actually is a two-lane road, so it's two cars can be on that road at the same time, but as you can see, half of it is broken off. It just tumbled, not able to withstand those high winds and strong rain from Hurricane Helene. We spoke to a neighbor. He talked about how devastating it was just seeing that, you know, going up to his house, his neighbors and friends can no longer visit him. I mean, take a listen to him.
I was just personally devastated, you know, knowing that this is going to be a long-term process to get repaired. The engineering feat on the retaining walls that are going to need to be done here are going to be extensive.
Now that video that you see now is from another neighbor we spoke to, Ken Lowry. His yard said was pummeled with rain. That's that video there. Look at all of that water just coming down like a waterfall. He said it just poured down in his yard. And he said the most unsettling part of all of this is not being able to communicate with his son.
That was the most worrisome part of it, I think, was the loss of communication. There was some periods of isolation, and it was a long period of time, so you had some ups and downs with that.
And both neighbors say now the healing and rebuilding starts. You know, a lot of times, you know, we talk to people up here in the mountain, they say they're used to all of the elements that come with, you know, the risk of living up in the mountains, but nothing like they've seen with Hurricane Helene. Live in Blowing Rock, I'm Taylor Leverett, WFMY News 2.
And what Taylor said really hits home. I mean, folks want to know, like the governor came here to Asheville today, and you just heard President Biden is coming to Asheville on Wednesday. But what folks really want to know is that their loved one, who they have not been able to connect with, is safe somewhere. Connectivity is really the challenge here.
Tanya, thank you. Near the Tennessee border, Helene forced the tiny town of Hot Springs to really just splinter and crumble. Giant chunks of road and buildings have disappeared there, exposing pipes and wires. The inside of this shop will need to be gutted. Everything inside is destroyed. Floodwaters still cover many streets there. Damage and debris have created waterfalls where roads used to be. We have seen devastating images from across the western part of our state, including Henderson.
That's where we find Nixon Norman. She spent the day talking to those cleaning up.
The Dario here in Hendersonville is one of the only things opened up for miles. Sure, most days they serve burgers and fries, but here in the community that was recently hit hard by Helene, well, now they're serving up hope. Winston-Salem native and Wake Forest men's basketball Hall of Famer Rusty LaRue has handed out over 20,000 water bottles to those who need it most in Henderson County. The county is dealing with a severe lack of water right now. Some people are desperately looking to get their hands on things like baby wipes to clean themselves and bags of ice to eventually drink. Dario secured all that water through Pepsi and thought it was only right to pay it forward to the community facing hard times right now.
You know, a lot of these people are on well water with pumps that when their power's out, they can't get water. And so we're right across from East Henderson High School, and they ran out of water earlier today, right about the time we were able to start getting going. So just extremely grateful we're open just so they can get a little bit of normalcy and a hot meal for some of them that they hadn't gotten in a couple days. To us, as North Carolinians, and then I think as a company, you just when you see it in the people's homes and the devastation, it's just hard not to want to do something.
The mayor of Hendersonville issued a state of emergency for the entire city and a curfew from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. In Hendersonville, Nixon Norman, WFMY News 2.
Like so many groups across the state, we are partnering with the American Red Cross to get help to those who need it most. Let's check in now with our Eric Chilton, who is there with the volunteers who are taking your calls and donations at the phone bank.
The phone's ringing off the hook. We're so excited about this. I want to quickly get to my buddy Dan Lynch here as a board chair with American Red Cross, and you run into this every time you guys respond to something like this. People really reach out and give back, and you're hearing some high-level donations going on.
Absolutely. People are really reaching down. A lot of emotion in the phone calls. Everybody either knows somebody up there or they visit up there, went to school up there. So it's wonderful to see how the Triad's responding.
Yeah, and we were seeing, you know, not just $10, $20 donations. Some of them are much higher.
Oh, absolutely. $1,000, $1,500. They're fabulous donations.
It's so important, and we want to thank you. Now, we're still here till 6:30. Even after that, the recording you'll get will guide you to where you can continue to donate. Thank you so much. We've got a few more minutes of this. Keep those phones ringing, folks.
Eric, thank you. And that is just one of the many ways you can help people navigate this disaster. If you go to WFMYnews2.com, you'll find this web story. It has a comprehensive list of places accepting donations or taking in supplies. Every little bit helps.
And of course, we continue to watch the weather. You know, it's been so top of mind recently, and right now we're still dealing with a couple of downpours pushing across our Piedmont area. They are still related to Helene, by the way, but they are moving off to the east for most of us. Guilford County, your phone buzz for a flood warning earlier, that should be gone by now. We are not expecting anything much more than that, but there are still some showers pushing off into Alamance County. Picking up a quick inch or so, we will have the forecast going through the rest of the week and take a look at the tropics. I want to clear something up about some misinformation spreading on social media. We'll have that latest outlook soon.